It's me, Daria, and we're back with week 6 of the Twitch Battle League. We just had our bye week. It feels like it's been forever, honestly. And this week we have our matchup against Alice the Ferrothorn and her Cornish Corphish. The thing about facing Alice, I know she hasn't found a win yet this year. That being said, the thing about facing Alice is she's not afraid to like think outside of the box and bring some sets that you probably aren't expecting. And because of that, she has what I like to call the Kerfungal effect. Kerfungal is a coach that has been in multiple draft leagues that I've been in, and I frequently lose to Kerfungal because of this very reason. When I'm team building, I'm team building for like the sets I expect to see, and Kerfungal always manages to bring a set that was just completely off my radar. I expect the same thing from Alice this week, which is always scary. That being said, I do think we have a solid strategy this week to get a win. In fact, it's a pretty simple one. Poltergeist. Poltergeist just kind of wins. My plan is to lead with a Bronzong, set up screens, blow up, and go into Poltergeist, shell smashing. Now, I can't do this in two scenarios. One is Galarian Lanoon comes. If Galarian Lanoon comes, it can click Sucker Punch, and even if we're +2 speed, it can kill us if we're not at full health, unless we're behind screens. Then we just delete it with Giga Drain. The other scenario is if she leads Corphish and sets up Toxic Spikes, which is something I'm actually expecting to see because she really seems to like that lead from her matches this year. She's led that, I think she's led that multiple times, Corphish with Toxic Spikes. So we'll see. But I do think we have some counters. So if we see Corphish, my plan is to lead Grimmsnarl. Grimmsnarl, we're running a sub bulk up set, and that can cause a lot of trouble for her team. I'm not planning on sweeping with Grimmsnarl, just punching a hole, being annoying. It is leftovers, again, with sub, bulk up, Sucker Punch, Spirit Break. It can cause a lot of problems if she doesn't bring a good counter for it. She also has a Hail team with Alolan Ninetales and Arctozolt. Now here's the thing, Arctozolt fucks my team up really bad. In fact, nothing on my team, other than Seismitoad, wants to eat a Bolt Beak. And the thing about switching into Seismitoad against Arctozolt is Arctozolt gets Freeze Dry, which is 4 times effective against Seismitoad. So, like, I'm kind of in a situation where, like, it's really risky for me to try and predict a Bolt Beak and switch into Seismitoad because she could just click Freeze Dry and just completely destroy my Seismitoad. Now, we are running a Choice Specs Swift Swim Sweeper on Seismitoad this week. And, you know, we're running Hydro Pump for maximum damage if we need it. Weather Ball because it's not going to miss, and it still does a ton of damage if things are chipped. Earth Power is stab and hits things hard, and Sludge Wave can hit any type of, like, grass types that she might try to switch into. In fact, let me pull up her team. Actually, she doesn't have any grass type. So, but it could hit Comfort hard. But at that point, like, why wouldn't I just water move? We needed a 4th move, though, so. Her team is Necrozma, which also can be scary. But Grimmsnarl kind of just deals with Necrozma without too much trouble. At least that's my hope. Alolan Ninetales, Arctozolt, Comfey, Escavalier, Galarian Lanoon, Swampert, Golbat, Corphish, She likes to run setup sweeper sets with the Necrozma. Again, Bronzong and both. Well, Bronzong doesn't like Heat Wave, but if I have Rain Up, that doesn't really matter. And Grimmsnarl, I think, actually comes in on Necrozma with little to no worry at all, actually. So I'm not super worried about Necrozma now. Hopefully, I don't, live to regret those words. Certainly possible that I do. Although the Ninetales can be annoying if she brings a Scarf. If she brings Scarf Ninetales, that is an excellent bring against my team. She hasn't ran Scarf Ninetales yet, and I don't think she would because the perk of Ninetales, besides obviously setting Hail for her Hail Sweeper and Arctozolt, is that she can set up Aurora Veils. So I would be shocked if she brought a Choice Scarf Alolan Ninetales. Although if she does, that's great prep for her, or on her part, and I'm probably just lose to that. Frostmouth does kind of wall it, and we can set up against it, but unless Rain's up, we can't really like do much because Bug Buzz isn't a ton. Because the set we're running on Frostmouth this week is Defog with heavy duty boots, because if she does bring Clef Aggregates and set up Toxic Spikes, we need to be able to get rid of those. I do not want to lose to Toxic again after losing to Toxic against Goldoa. We have Quiver Dance, obviously. And we have Weather Ball and Bug Buzz. We're not bringing in an Ice move because I don't think Ice really looks that great against her team. Like she has multiple Ice resists. She has multiple Ice resists. And really only one Pokemon that's even weak to Ice. So I don't think Ice works. I think Weather Ball is much better against her team, and Bug Buzz is also decent. Not the best, but decent. Politoed, we're running the Perish Trap set that we ran in week 1 that didn't really play out, or was it week 2? We ran it in week 2. It didn't really play out because we tried to trap a ghost. I'm hoping enough time has passed that I can get away with bringing this set again. Maybe it won't be on the radar. Again, Bronzong is just screens, Explosion with Stealth Rock. Stealth Rock chip will be super great for things like Seismitoad sweeps, Frostmoth, Quiver Dance sweeps, and again, most importantly, Shell Smash, Poltegeist, which is Shell Smash, Giga Drain, Stored Power, Shadow Ball with White Herb instead of Pokesash. The reason we're going White Herb instead of Pokesash is because I want to get Poltegeist behind screens, which is why we're running an Explosion on Bronzong, so we can get Poltegeist in for free. And if it's behind screens, and we click Shell Smash, we aren't losing any defense. And behind screens, it's actually kind of bulky and annoying, especially with Giga Drain. It can just kill itself. So that's my plan with that. I feel like there's lots of ways we can win this, but who knows? Maybe she brings something I'm not expecting, and I think like worst case scenario is she brings Scarf Ninetales, or I don't preserve Politoed well enough, and she's able to bring in Arctozolt in Hail, and Arctozolt in Hail is just, it just fucks my team up completely. Like, my options for Arctozolt in Hail is to basically hope that Bronzong is still alive, who has max defense and can come in and just tank a hit and stall out a Hail turn, even though it doesn't, like, Bolt Beak's still gonna hurt. Or I can make a bold predict and get Seismitoad in, who should well, it's not gonna outspeed Hail, obviously. Like, basically the important thing here is I need to maintain weather control. I need to maintain weather control. That is the absolute most important thing. Luckily, Politoed is much slower than Alolan Ninetales, so like when it comes to a speed tie, we maintain weather control. But like, if we don't maintain weather control, we can lose this. Now, we're going max special defense Politoed, so like those freeze dries from Ninetales aren't really going to do too much unless she's like Choice Specs or something, or like Life Orb, or even Nasty Plot Ninetales is kind of scary. But as long as none of those things come, Politoed should be fine. And even if she does bring Nasty Plot, like, my plan is to never, like, Politoed is only hitting the field if Hail is active. If Alolan Ninetales comes out, I am immediately going into Politoed to reset weather. And, like, if she clicks Nasty Plot, like, trying to expect that, so she can get a boosted freeze dry off, like, then I just pivot into Frostmoth. It's not a big deal. It's not a big deal, and if Rain is up, Weather Balls are going to not feel. We can click Quiver Dance once and start dropping Rain boosted Weather Balls on. So, like, we have a strategy. If she brings, another thing that could happen is she could bring Hail on Alolan Ninetales to reset Hail after I switch into Politoed, which would be super fucking annoying. That would be a great bring on her part too. I wouldn't be surprised to see that, actually, but we'll see what happens. That's my team basically. I think we covered everything. I know it's not as formal as usual, but like, I built this team 2 weeks ago. New World came out, and I've been obsessing over that game. So like, I don't really remember why I ran certain EV spreads on things that I ran. So like I can't really get into that, but like movesets and like poltergeist sweep is basically what it comes down to. My hope is that we see no Galarian Lanoon, we see no Cofagrigus. If we don't see either of those on team preview, we're just leading bronze on. We're setting up rocks, we're setting up screens, we're blowing up, we're going into poltergeist, we're clicking shell smash, and we're gonna try it right there. So that's my plan. We'll see if it works, and yeah, I will catch y'all later for the match. Hey y'all, so basically when I recorded this, I realized this video is coming out late. When I recorded this, I had issues with the audio for the actual battle, and I was really upset with the way I played, and because of that, I kind of didn't want to like put in all the effort to like edit it and stuff like that and get it put back out there. But I finally decided to go back and kind of do this, which is essentially just like, hey, this is what happened with this match, let's talk about it, because this match against Alice goes really rough for me. It was just a lot of things, and we'll talk about them. We'll talk about it as the things happen. It boils down to a super important misclick. It wasn't even a misplay. It was like I knew what I needed to do, but I wasn't paying attention, and I accidentally clicked button on my controller and clicked the wrong move, and was immediately like distraught, like, oh my god, I just fucking threw. And then instead of like calming down, considering my win cons, figuring out a way to win, I just start tilting, and it's just bad. It's just really bad. And honestly, it's probably good that like I think I just left my mic muted because like the game audio picks up and stuff, but like and the music stuff picks up, but like my voice wasn't picking up. But the game audio was also really crackly, so it's just the whole thing. Forgot how long we had to wait here. Let me see if I can fast forward a little bit. Okay. So as far as the team that Alice brought, I mean, it was pretty much what I was expecting. The only thing that didn't show up that I was expecting was the Galarian Lanoon. I thought with me having Poltegeist that there's no way she doesn't bring Galarian Lanoon, but she didn't. So I was excited about that. I was like, okay, well, I have multiple win cons now. You know, I was very happy, very excited. I decided to lean with Grimmsnarl, obviously, and it's been a couple weeks since this match, and like, truth be told, I haven't watched this match since, so like this will be fun. This will be fun because I can sit back with y'all and be like, why did I do this? We can see how tilted I was together, and we can make fun of my misplays. God, it all I'll point out the play where it all falls apart. I mean, I think it's pretty obvious to anybody who like watched the battle, but like there is a particular play, the one that I previously mentioned, where the whole thing just falls apart, and it kills me. It kills me, and that's something I need to get better about. I need to get better at like managing my emotions, and when like plan A doesn't work out because of either a misplay or just something silly, like I'm just not paying attention, I can like refocus, reevaluate, and still play well. That's one of my biggest weaknesses that I have when it just comes to like draft league format in general, or just Pokemon in general. Okay, so we see the Grimmsnarl versus Arctozolt lead here. Now, this sub-bulk upset with the Grimmsnarl actually could have done a lot more work, but I do mismanage it a little bit in late game. We'll see that. Right here isn't what I'm referring to, though, because right here, she just clicks Iron Tail. She brings Iron Tail on a lot of things here, which I know she was very proud of bringing Iron Tail, and I mean, that's fair. It was a good bring. So we see the Iron Tail there. So that allowed us to scout. And now I'm still afraid of Freeze Dry, but I don't think he's going to click Freeze Dry here. So I just go right into the Toad, and I know my Seismitoad should outspeed this thing. It should force it out. But she just hard switches, which I don't think I was expecting at all. She might have expected she might have like predicted my switch. It's entirely possible with her Golbat swap, because you know this is a good matchup for Golbat, especially if she's got like Giga Drain on this thing. And I know I can't leave Seismitoad out in front of this thing in case it does have Giga Drain. So the obvious pivot is Bronzong. Get Nipples out there, eat the U-turn. I mean, Alice does a great job early game here maintaining momentum. You know, I like she's controlling the tempo of the fight so far, and pretty much through the entire match. She goes into the Corphish, obviously. Now, I was most worried about hazards from this thing. I know she likes to use hazards on this, and I have lost matches this season on hazard use. It's something that I've been hyper conscious the last 2 matches that I've had about prepping for, which I don't think mattered in either match. But what ends up happening is she ends up clicking Will-O-Wisp, which is whatever. Like, my only damage dealing move on this Bronzong set is Explosion, and like the thought with this set is that I can set up hazards, blow up, and get Poltegeist in. Behind screens, click Shell Smash and win. But she does start setting up hazards, which I should have known that was what was going to happen. I was thinking 1 turn ahead instead of 2 turns ahead, and that's another thing I need to work on. Because I wasted a turn setting up Stealth Rocks, because like now I have to defog. I have to defog. So like I essentially wasted a turn with Stealth Rocks. I do get my screens up though. Now I go into the Heavy Duty Boots Frostmoth. I'm a big fan of Heavy Duty Boots Frostmoth with defog. Because depending on the matchup, you can run defog, and then you can also run Quiver Dance, so it gives you utility and an offensive threat. And even if you don't want to bring Quiver Dance and you just bring defog 3 moves, this thing hits hard enough to still like threaten. I mean, Frostmoth is just a super underrated Pokemon. Like, look how little damage that did. That did almost nothing. Gross. It's gross how bulky this Pokemon is, especially. So we get a chance to defog for free. I'm pretty sure this is where she goes into Ninetales. I don't remember though, like I said, it's been a while. I tried to erase this game from my memory. He took a long time with that turn. Is this where she... No, okay. Oh shit, I remember this. Okay, yeah, how could I forget about this part? This was when I was like really feeling myself. So I defog, get rid of hazards, but I got Frostmoth up behind screens. I know even if this thing has Heat Wave, I'm living it behind a light screen. So I just go ahead and I click Quiver Dance. Yeah, right now I'm running a Calc. I'm thinking really hard, but I end up just clicking Quiver Dance, which is the play. And between Bug Buzz and Weather Ball and Rain, this thing like kind of puts in work, but obviously I don't have Rain up right now. But she autotomizes, which is scary. You know, this could be weakness policy, autotomize with like Meteor Beam or something. Now I realize that it's probably Meteor Beam set. So I check the calc and I know that I live a Meteor Beam behind a screen, even at +1, because this Pokemon is gross. And a +1 Quiver Dance, or a +1 Bug Buzz just kills this thing from a Frostmoth. Frostmoth's, not only is Frostmoth's special bulk gross, its special attack stat is gross. I mean, look, it just eats that. It just absolutely eats a 4 times effective +1 Meteor Beam from into Crozma, and then one-shots it with Bug Buzz. Like, this thing has been so good for me all season. This has been like the unsung hero of my team. Okay, now she goes into the Ninetales. I don't want her to get Aurora Veil up. That's what I think she's going for. So I immediately go into Politoed. Maybe I should be afraid of Freeze Dry, but I'm behind a light screen. Also, it's max HP, max Spadef. Well, almost max HP, as you can see. It's 248 HP Politoed with max Spadef. Politoed. I keep saying Politoed. I just really like Politoed, okay. We see Iron Tail here, which I'm like, Iron Tail, that's weird. But like, I get it's for the Frostmoth. Like, that makes sense. Now here's where I fuck up. I click Perish Song, and I immediately like, oh fuck. Oh fuck, oh fuck, oh fuck. I clicked Perish Song. Like, I'm supposed to click Whirlpool there. And like, I clicked the button really fast. Like, I for whatever reason, I think maybe like when I was practicing on Showdown that I had Whirlpool in the second slot and Perish Song in the first slot, but it wasn't set up that way in my actual like menu. And I think that's why I did it. And at that point I clicked Perish Song and I was like, fuck. Well, obviously she's gonna switch out because it's clearly Whirlpool Perish Trap, and I still click Whirlpool instead of trying to predict her swap, which was really stupid of me. I should have realized, okay, well, I fucked that up. She's not gonna stay in. I need to try and figure out what she's gonna switch into and double swap, and maybe I can like catch her. And I didn't do that. I clicked Whirlpool again against something that can just U-turn right out of it. It was just completely fumbled and just messed up altogether. It was just really bad. And from here, I'm mad. I'm like very upset. I'm like cussing and I'm like, God fucking damn it. I like start self-deprecating like I always do when I make a misplay or make a mistake. And I'm just like, I'm not thinking clearly. And I go into Seismitoad, which was again stupid. I know U-turn is a thing here, but like this thing could have Giga Drain. Like U-turn seems like the obvious play out of Whirlpool, but it could have Giga Drain. So like going into Seismitoad didn't make sense there, but I did it anyways. She just goes right back into Alola Ninetales to get the hail going. Now Freeze Dry is definitely coming in, but like I still am worried about the Aurora Veil, so I go right back into Politoed, trying to make sure that hail is gone. Like I need to maintain weather control. That's what I'm thinking. I'm like, I need to maintain weather control. That's my only chance here, which isn't a bad play, right? Like this isn't a bad play. But what the problem here is, if I click Whirlpool on that first turn instead of misclicking into Perish Song, I trap the Alola Ninetales, I Perish Song, and I click Protect, and behind it can't kill me. Behind a light screen, even if she clicks Freeze Dry right after I Whirlpool trap her, I eat one Freeze Dry easy because I'm max Spadef and behind a light screen. It only does like 20% damage, and then I obviously get the Perish Song up, then I Protect to stall out a turn, and then like I can live enough. I can live enough Freeze Dries so that like her Perish Song will like come up to its like finale essentially and kill the Ninetales, and then her weather's gone for the whole match, and I just maintain momentum that way. But I fuck it up. Then, in a moment of desperation, I'm like, I'm about to lose my screens. I need to go into Poltergeist now. I need to make something happen. So I go into Poltergeist and I click Shell Smash. I'm like, I'm going for broke right now. She can't stop me. She didn't bring Lanoon. I just win if I get that Shell Smash off. And she said she had something for the Shell Smash. I don't know what it would have been, because based off my calcs, she didn't have anything that could live unless something had a Focus Sash. And even then, I was running bulky Poltergeist, which is why we eat this Dark Pulse. The problem is, we flinch. She gets a 30% flinch. My Shell Smash doesn't matter at all. So to top off the misclick, we now have RNG striking at the worst possible time, and I was livid. I was absolutely livid. Like, I was extremely upset. And at this point, this is like, I have already started like tilting a little bit, but now it's in full force. And now she's just clicking buttons with Ninetales and just getting kills. It's just faster than everything. She brought the coverage. I just lose now. Yeah. And this is basically it. This match is just her slowly just killing all my Pokemon. Yeah, I'm really upset right now. I'm really upset right now. I do save the Poltergeist in hopes that I can find a window to click Shell Smash again, but like, when is that window gonna show itself, you know? Even if I get a situation where like, oh, you better switch out, Poltergeist is here, she's not gonna let Poltergeist click Shell Smash. She's just gonna attack it. So like, Poltergeist, I should've just like, it was useless at that point. But here's where I start fucking up again. I start to threaten with this sub bulk up set with Grimmsnarl, and I kind of like, I have a chance to sweep with it, and I kind of throw it away. We've seen Iron Tail, but we know it's an Alolan Ninetales. Iron Tail isn't going to do anything to +1 Grimmsnarl. And it does more than I like, but we have leftovers, so like, I'm not super concerned about it. And I know after another bulk up, like, I'm just gonna eat these Iron Tails. She withdraws. I think she realizes I need Hail to get chip on this thing and neutralize the lefties. Otherwise, this thing's gonna be a problem. I'm almost certain that's where her thought process is there. Now here I'm worried about like cross poison or something from this. I am +2, so I'm like, I'll throw up a sub and see what they click. I'm +2 attack, +2 special. I'm +2 attack, +2 defense right now, though. So, like, I'm not in a bad position. And U-turn doesn't break the sub. So, like, I'm in a good position. Now she goes back into Ninetales to get the Hail up, like I said, to neutralize the leftovers, which was a smart play on her part. But, like, right here, I'm worried about her clicking Aurora Veil. So I'm like, I need to get stronger, so I click bulk up. But I'm pretty sure she doesn't click. Pretty sure she doesn't click Iron Tail. Or click Aurora Veil. I'm pretty sure she clicks a move and breaks the sub. So if I just click Spirit Break here, which kills Alolan Ninetales at +2. If I just click Spirit Break, I kill the Ninetales. But I'm like, there's no way she lets me kill this thing. She's gonna click Aurora Veil. There's no way she doesn't click Aurora Veil here. So I'm like, I gotta. Oh my god, I swap out altogether. I throw away a sub. Daria, what are you doing? Oh, I wanted rain so she couldn't get Aurora Veil up. That's why. I was like, I don't want her getting Aurora Veil. I need to get rid of the hail. So I do that. I do a stupid play. And she clicks freeze dry. Really, really bad play on my part. I had the sub. I should have just clicked a button and I should have made her make the play. And instead, I overpredict and I pay for it. God, yeah, rewatching this is a little upsetting. So I go into Quiver Me Timbers, who's just gonna eat this freeze dry, but then it's outsped. Like she can just click Iron Tail here, and I'm pretty sure that's what she does. She kills, which is why she brought Iron Tail. That's why it was a good. The Frostmoth is gone. I still have rain, so I'm like, whatever, I'll go into Seismitoad. See if I can maybe kill a couple things here. Pretty sure I don't think I get. This match goes to timer, which makes it even worse. Rain boosted Hydro Pump. Golbat eats it. Now I'm locked into Hydro Pump, so I gotta click it again. I know she's going Alola Ninetales though. At this point I know she's going Ninetales. I probably should have went. Or no, I'm faster, so my switch goes first. Oh, never mind. That wouldn't have been the play, but I know she's going for Ninetales, but like I don't know what I'm supposed to do, so I just click Hydro Pump and like I'll just go for damage, I guess. Cause I was running choice specs. And it almost kills. But now I'm freaking out again. Like I know if I go Politoed now, that it's gonna die. So I can't do that, so I gotta sack something, so I sack Grimmsnarl, who dies to freeze dry. Not sure if that crit mattered. So I go into Politoed here, get rain up. I'm like, I need weather if I'm going to win. That's my only hope. And now I have to sack something, right? Because I need to preserve the rain. I need my rain setter. So I sack Poltegeist here. No, do I sack Politoed? I thought I sacked Poltegeist here. Why Whirlpool? Why Whirlpool? Just to kill the Ninetales, I guess? But you don't outspeed. You gotta, yeah. See, this part was on me too. I took too long. I think I clicked rest, but like that was a misplay. The play was to go into Poltegeist and sack Poltegeist so that I could get clean into Seismitoad, who gets a kill here if I do that. Oh god, I misplayed all the way to the end. How embarrassing. And then right here, I'm like, I can just click a button and get a kill, but she's gonna swap out. I don't know who she's gonna swap out to. So I'm like, I'll just click Weather Ball. It's gonna be my best even ground play. It won't miss. It's rain boosted. It should do some good damage. I do manage to pick up a kill on the Golbat, but now at this point, the timer's pretty much gone. She goes back into Ninetales after this, right? And then I swap out into Politoed. I die to freeze dry, but I get rain up. And then I go back into Seismitoad, and she's forced to sack something. My only hope is that she makes a misplay and leaves the Ninetales out, and then I get to kill the Ninetales. because then I sweep. But if she like thinks to play through, which I'm sure she does, she swaps out Ninetales, goes into something else, then Seismitoad kills that thing, and then she comes back, resets Hail. Now she's faster. She clicks Freeze Dry and wins. Like I needed to preserve Politoed. My play there was to sack Poltergeist. So I misplayed all the way up to the end. All the way up to the end, and it was a rough match for me. And I got really upset about it, and I got really overly dramatic about it as well. But I tend to do that. That's just how I am with Draft League and VGC. So yeah, that was that match. And I'm probably gonna do a video for week 7 as well. But I didn't even get footage of that one. I was having a really rough day that day, and just didn't feel like recording or being on camera, so I didn't. So I'm probably gonna grab the footage from the stream and kind of do a similar video like what we did for this. My week 8 video I do have recorded, so that is recorded, and there were no audio issues, thank God, and everything is good. So I'll have that video up in a couple days. But thanks for watching and hanging out, y'all, and I'll catch you next time.